We built this film on a foundation of love. Its purpose? To shatter the mental barriers constructed from a lifetime of indoctrination.
Are you listening to this bullshit here?
The eyes are useless when the mind is blind. We are participants in a prison system we are unable to see. Once the veil is lifted, there is no turning back. Many of us rarely realize we are the victims of indoctrination.
I mean, this is all true, but remember what this documentary is about. It's about how the earth is flat.
Follow the pre-planned layout of life, living in a state of confusion, controlled by a small group of individuals who possess great wealth, estate, and control. They monetarily benefit by keeping us blind to the true nature of the shape of the earth. Most are too busy to question what they are told or investigate the scientific theory about the physical world and its shape, wrongly taught in schools as fact. Inquiries made on a controlled platform such as YouTube or Facebook are quickly rerouted to videos and content that hold no merit. Misconceptions occur either intentionally or due to lack of research, by mixing heliocentric and geocentric cosmology together, causing incoherence that pushes the viewer away from learning.
I feel like they should be saying this while standing in front of a mirror.
Why would a lie like this exist? What purpose does this level of deception seek to gain?
Please tell me.
The hard, solid truth is that all the known space agencies and related industries have made untold amounts of money for many, many years, providing nothing but CGI, fisheye lens curvature, and Hollywood-style productions as proof. The following evidence should speak for itself through the testimonies of these professionals, pilots, and witnesses. To find yourself, think for yourself. The most courageous act is to think for yourself. Our greatest wish is for minds opened, questions answered, and the reign of freedom through truth revealed.
Yeah, I do not think any truth is going to be revealed here. Hello, all of my fabulous, beautiful people, and how are you all doing today? I hope that you're all doing very, very well. So today, we are going to be talking about the Flat Earthers' new video, which is called Flatten the Curve, and then, in parentheses, 2022 Flat Earth documentary. That's right, they did a documentary this very year, so I watched it, and I am going to be talking about it today, and just showing you some of my favorite parts, if you will. So without further ado, let's just roll that intro and then we're going to get right into it. There was a movie that was released, and it was released on YouTube on the 10th of September, called Flatten the Curve, Flat Earth 2022. The director is Vika Draziv. The writers are Gail Todd, Lee Wilson, and it stars Vika Draziv. I couldn't find any information on Vika or many of the people that are a part of this film. It seems to have been a small project that was just done by those who got together and wanted to spread misinformation about the Earth being flat. The introduction to the movie was hilarious, as you heard, and so let me just go ahead and put some of my favorite parts in the movie here, and then we will talk about them.
That will always reference level. I don't care what any pilot says. I don't care what any mechanic tells you. You know, there's a reason that pilots have one book called a Pilot Operating Handbook, and there's every other book, right? From structures to avionics to wiring diagrams to the actual components that make up these systems. That is a standalone system. The ADI does not lie. It don't care how cold it is, how high you are, and some of these guys are pretty damn high. It doesn't matter where you're going. It doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't matter where you are over the realm itself.
Okay, I think this guy might be the one that's high. I'm just saying.
I woke up to the truth of the flat earth, shape of the earth, as an engineer and a pilot. So I've studied engineering, physics, 3 different ways: basic physics, electric physics, and construction physics. And also as a pilot, as a rotary wing pilot, that is helicopter pilot, I studied aeronautical physics as well. So I can cover and discuss just about any factor of flat earth.
Really? This is what you decided to do with that education?
Not that I'm any smarter than anybody else, but I've studied quite a bit of factors that analyze shape and motion of just about any object. That's physics, also aeronautical physics, and principles of flight. I can tell you this: airplanes fly straight and level. That's even an aviation term, straight and level. Airplanes will fly for hours at the same altitude, never dipping their nose down to follow the curve of the earth. An aircraft on a 12-hour or even 18-hour flight from Portland, Oregon to Seoul, Korea, that would have that aircraft starting at one point and then flying so far around the earth that it's flying downwards with its nose vertically downwards, and then starting to go around the curve of the earth so that the airplane is now flying upside down. Would have to make that kind of a flight path on a globe, which is, it's such an absurdity. So that being said, I come into the true shape of the earth, the flat earth, as a skeptic, like most anyone else. I'll tell you my story. My buddy told me about this. He said, "Rob, you need to learn about the ice ring. You need to learn that the earth doesn't move. This globe is garbage." And I laughed at him. I said, "Are you kidding me? I'm not even gonna look into that." He said, "That's fine." He said, "That's fine. You don't have to look into flat earth. But
it's his fault.
Until you do," he said, "until you do look into flat earth, you will remain a slave of the matrix." And interestingly enough, at this point, this was more or less November, December 2015, I had already mentally resigned from the U.S. military for 3 years. I had already resigned because of Benghazi. I realized, and I saw for myself, I'd been working with U.S. as an Army officer, working for State Department for a good 10 years. And so what I did, I turned my physics awareness, I turned my studies into analysis of the shape of the earth.
He somehow got to the conclusion that it's flat, so I'm not feeling too confident in this education here.
I eventually started researching the moon landing because it just never set well with me. And it didn't take long for me to completely unravel that for the hoax that it is.
Oh, great. We got more of the moon landing was fake. That's my favorite.
After that, I was starting to realize that we had been lied to on so many levels. What else could there possibly be? Then I saw a video about the flat earth pop up on my YouTube recommendations.
Damn you, YouTube!
At first, even with my awakened mind, I thought this was absolutely ridiculous.
And then you should have just stopped right there and went on with life. Yet here we are, and now you are in a full-on documentary, sir.
I decided that I'd look into it simply to disprove it and move on. It should be easy, right?
What?
That was over 6 years ago, and I still can't disprove the flat earth. In fact, the more I research it, the more it reveals.
That's really funny because I've only been doing my channel since 2019 and I have had no problem disproving the flat earth in several videos, but I don't know, maybe that's just me.
This leads me into my submarine experience. Looking back on everything I had accomplished while on active duty with eyes to see, has only served to solidify my stance that we live on a flat and motionless plane.
Why? How? Explain. Oh, we're just not...
The theory of more land being hidden on Earth.
Okay, I guess we don't get an explanation for that at all. These people are just telling us things and then they're going, and that is why the Earth is flat. But it's all very general. And then it just seems to be like their story of how they fell into this so far. And we're like a quarter of the way into this, a third of the way into this thing.
Said there would be small bottles encased in these structures that were encased by another structure. The small bottles were the fuel cells. These fuel cells were incredibly small, smaller than a diver's tank in most cases, much smaller.
Okay, like we get it. They were small, so small. Continue.
And this was supposed to be all the fuel that the craft needed to run and operate, as most are not actually electric. They're becoming electric now. And sustain itself in a perfect orbit by just small bursts from its engine or its propulsion system.
Of course, your last name's Silva.
Truth be told, I've been to many countries, done many things, all things aviation. I can say with absolute certainty, and I can attest, the plane does not dip nose down to follow the curvature of the Earth, ever. Matter of fact, most planes have an airfoil that are 3 degrees nose up in straight and level flight. And the reason that is simple. If the nose of the aircraft was at 0 degrees or level flying through the air, then it would porpoise, right? It would be quite violent because some of the air would go over the nose and some of the air would go under the nose. And it would cause that nose to go up and down, which is literally like a porpoise or a dolphin out of water. And that's exactly what would happen. So the wings are designed, when they are level, the nose is 3 degrees nose up. The fact.
Okay, let's take a moment and let's talk about the whole, when the airplane goes around the world, it goes straight, it's not dipping, and therefore the world be flat, and I'm a pilot, and I studied physics, and so I know this. Listen to me here. This ain't about money, but watch the documentary. Why planes don't fly in a straight line on a map. So let's just go through why. The reason for this is down to simple mathematics and physics. The circumference of the Earth is a lot further around the equator than it is at higher or lower latitudes towards the poles of the Earth. Such is the spherical shape of our planet. Flying around the smaller circumference of the Earth is called the Great Circle Route, and also very noticeable for flights from the US to Asia that will fly far above Alaska and Siberia rather than what would appear to be a straight line. If you think about drawing a line around a globe in the middle where it is widest versus towards the north or south poles, the differentiation of distance begins to become apparent, and it not only saves a huge amount of time, but also fuel. Because the Earth revolves on its axis, this forces the equator to bulge out and be wider, despite what some theories suggest. The Earth is not flat, and so curvature becomes an incredibly important factor in routes aircraft take. Similar to the Earth itself, aircraft therefore take flight routes that also appear to be a curved line, tracing the Earth's shape. Flight paths are mapped out before aircraft take off, depending on the shortest and most efficient route. And flight paths can even change during flight, depending on weather, wind, and jet streams, to name just a few variable factors. As well as the curvature of the Earth, jet streams are another important factor in why aircraft may not take what appears to be a completely direct route. Jet streams can sometimes have tailwinds above 200 miles per hour, and that is going to get an aircraft to where it needs to be much quicker, whilst burning a lot less fuel. Contrastingly, if an aircraft would be flying head-on into a 200 mile per hour wind, flight planning may try alternative routes to avoid this. Like the simplest way I could put it. And Jules Verne idealized it in Around the World in 80 Days in 1872. Flying around the world, it has been, accomplished. Using rail and sea connections, aviation came later, and a team of U.S. military aviators made the first around-the-world flight in 1924. Ages ago. This took 175 days and covered over 42,000 kilometers. A great achievement, but hardly a quick trip. The first non-stop flight was made in 1986. Ooh, the year I was born. I mean, not that old. Using the Rutten model aircraft 76 Voyage aircraft, it flew the equator route around the world in 9 days, 3 minutes, and 44 seconds. The current record is held by Virgin Atlantic-backed Global Flyer. This single-engine aircraft was flown around the world in 2005 by pilot Steve Fassett. It flew the Tropic of Cancer route, that doesn't sound fun, around the world in just over 67 hours. It achieved what standard aircraft cannot by taking advantage of winds and flying at very high altitudes, burning military-grade aviation fuel with a lower freezing point than standard jet fuel. But achieving this with a standard commercial aircraft is not yet possible. So again, what kind of pilot were these guys in this? Because they apparently are very unaware with all of this information as apparent pilots, and I'm worried. All right, I'm glad we figured that one out.
Proven from multiple points that there is no Coriolis to the motion of the Earth. And I'm speaking from a pilot's perspective, also an engineer's.
The new thing, or I guess it's an old theory, is that there is no Coriolis, and that drives me insane. It has been proven over and over and over again that there is. They don't have any proof for this. They just keep saying it over and over again.
Perspective, because I obtained a degree as an engineer before I went to flight school. So
oh, wow.
I'm both a pilot and engineer at once. So
because he's a pilot and engineer at once, we should just believe him that the world is flat? Forget everything I just said. That proved him wrong, by the way. And the ones before him.
It's like telling me about Argentina when you've never been there. Or it's like telling me about owning a Corvette when you've never driven one.
What?
You haven't experienced it. And if you have been through the Flat Earth Awakening, you know how it would affect you. This quite possibly may be the biggest awakening of mankind. Think about it. If you believe in this mass fallacy, you've been robbed of some senses and you don't even realize it. You don't trust your sense of touch or feel. You don't trust your sense of sight. You've been told the Earth wobbles, spins, and orbits, but you don't feel a thing.
Oh my gosh. I don't feel the Earth spinning, therefore it doesn't spin. Oh my god, I just had an awakening. The Earth must be flat. The horizon looks flat, so the Earth is flat. I can't.
Excuse me while I ugly cry.
The fact that it's apparently also touched this man's life so much is just... what a heartwarming thing he's saying, right? It's so profound. Everything that you ever believed in just gets cracked. I'm over here like, my experience with the Flat Earth Society and that whole theory is that laugh at it. I think it's hilarious, and I don't understand how several people apparently still believe it today. Just saying.
You've been told that sunsets can't exist on a flat and stationary plane, but you don't understand the vanishing point of the law of perspective? After it's possible to understand and decode a mass deception, it becomes a lot easier to understand other lies. It opens your eyes and raises your discernment. So when it comes to lies like JFK, the moon landing, chemtrails, fluoridation, 9/11, etc.
So he is like, you should believe in the flat earth like me. It completely changed my life and was wonderful. By the way, here are the other conspiracy theories that I believe. I like how they're at least admitting that once you believe this, you could fall down a rabbit hole of a bunch of other bullshit, though.
In closing, I'd just like to say that these are my own personal experiences. I never ask anyone to simply just believe everything I'm saying. In fact, please don't. That's how we've gotten into this whole mess to begin with.
Oh, Lord.
Blindly following others who say they've already done the research for you.
No, like, I've gone and researched it on my own and still came to the conclusion that the Earth is a globe and not flat, and that you're all freaking insane.
You allow deceptions to occur. Please do your own research and test all things.
I have. Oh my god, thank God. Is this thing over? Oh wow.
All space agencies are part of the cover-up because they are also Freemasons.
Never mind.
It is my consensus that space is fake. And NASA was set up this deception and even admit that images of Earth are composites and computer-generated images. Since 1958, NASA has literally force-fed us to and continue their trickery, sorcery, wizardry, and being only God of oneself.
Seriously, if NASA and the rest of the world was lying to us about the shape of the Earth and it was flat, like, why? Why would they not want us to know the shape of the Earth? No one could ever explain this to me as to why it would have to be a secret to begin with.
Not get high enough altitude to provide humanity with one single photo of what the very shape of our world is.
Oh my god, every time we show you people photos, you say that they're fake. What do you want from us?
A few moments later.
Of the seas and oceans are abyssal plains. As we say, as above, so below. The longest line of sight of observing Hudson Bay at 1800 miles and my own Himalayan ranges observations on 2 occasions of plus 2000 miles is just impossible on a globe Earth. No physicist can debunk the testimony presented here by the first category witnesses, nor the real geography, nor the longest line of sight, nor the countless researches, investigations, and evidences that prove we live on a flat and stationary plane. The one who needs to prove that it's legit or not is the globe.
Listen, globe, you're gonna have to prove yourself to us. What shape is you? Yeah. Oh, now it's over. Oh, thank God.
Belgian Swiss physicist Auguste Piccard, 1931, first to reach for the stars, was the first to explore the air view stratospherius, a scientist curious to see what was there.
This is like the worst song ever.
An aluminium black ball on a helium balloon, hydrogen with photos and instruments, sail towards the moon.
Everyone dance!
Just half an hour, 52,000 feet, 10 miles of dense air pressure, up a dead trapped in heat.
Oh crap.
And cold, but disproving gravity. Wonderful, mystical, beautiful sight. Flat line separation of black from blue light. Oh,
Lord, we literally now they have what? Praise songs for the flat earth? What do I call this?
run by deceivers, false make-believers, hiding in shadows, stealing our light.
Why?
Wonderful, magical, awesome, yes, stealing our
Awesome.
wonderful, let there be light, supernatural, eternal, up we go, higher than rainbows, higher than mountains.
Oh yeah, they're higher than rainbows and mountains, that's for sure. They have to be to have done this movie and then closed out in this song.
Higher than air, high level horizon, 360 around us, but right round behind us, steady like that you there. It's on that the moon.
I can see the curve in this. Do they not realize?
Revolve around us to forever, short time pass intelligently there. You'll never beat us, you'll never defeat us, no more you deceive.
my God, I think the flat earthers are declaring war on us. Scientism. People that believe in science are now a cult. We're the cult. Oh, Lord. Starring Pilot 1. Lord, what is happening?
Mystical, wonderful, celestial light. So what was their eternal?
It doesn't help when they're telling their stories plots. Like, they're calling all of the stories here plots. Yeah, it's a plot to lie.
Testimony. What did they report back to humanity? Said it seemed like a flat disk far as eyes can see, with an upturned edge fading into infinity. A mystical, ethereal, celestial sight, a divine creation, a floodwork of light, designed hid by deceivers and false make-believers, still cowering in shadows, still fearing our light. Here we go, higher than Everest, higher than airplanes, above zero cumulus, higher than air, a level horizon, 360 around us, no motion beneath us.
A sloping horizon will never rise to eye level. Oh, Jesus Christ, there's stuff with the horizon. Wait, to forever show time pass? Is that even a sentence?
You'll never beat us, you'll never defeat us, forever beneath us. We see through you like air. Mystic, solar-luminous light, fantastical, magical, bright. We see through you like air. Magical angels of light, beautiful, wonderful, celestial light.
Picture.
The first to see truth when they reach for the stars, explorers and physicists, Kipper and Picard.
Oh, man. Oh, no, I can't do another one, but we are done here. We're done here. Wow, that was the movie. Now, what's funny about this is that you will see here that the IMDb rating is 6.7 out of 10 and 13 people rated it. Obviously, all people who were in the movie. Only 3 people actually reviewed it. On the 4th of March of 2022, someone said, horrible. A complete load of nonsense and lies. There are absolutely no facts in this drivel. The aviation citations offered by fake pilots, including one Rob Taylor, are laughable. In fact, they aren't really evidence of anything, and nothing said in this nonsense backs anything us real pilots do in reality. Utter trash. So that came from an actual pilot. And wait, Rob Taylor. Aha! I knew that name sounded familiar. Rob Taylor is actually a graduate from West Point who has an MA and studied engineering and physics and became an Army flight school officer. He speaks 8 languages and worked for the U.S. Embassy and became a commercial airline pilot, and he believes the Earth cannot be a globe. There is over an hour-long public interview on YouTube that talks about it. Damn you, YouTube! Yeah, and a lot of people don't actually believe that this Rob Taylor is a pilot. A lot of people have come out and said that as a pilot, they have heard this person and don't actually think that they're a pilot. I knew that name sounded familiar, though. I was like, Rob Taylor, wait a minute. A well-known dude that lies about being a pirate to promote flat earth is basically what we can say here. Not a documentary, no actual information. This is a load of people claiming supposedly knowledgeable professions and then saying I'm a flat earther because whatever, no evidence, no alternative physics, just a load of people saying they can't see how the globe can possibly work. Even the memes they used are just fragments. I spotted a couple of fragments that appeared to come from debunker videos such as the boats over the horizon, with a boat clearly half out of sight framed by a red rectangle. And then that was on the 16th of April. And this comment was left here on the 25th of April. And it's called The Best Flat Earth Documentary Ever Made. I see a couple trolls commenting here who can't really debunk the technical information contained in this documentary. There's no such thing as Coriolis effect. Earth doesn't spin. No such thing as circumnavigation north-south, only east-west, west-east. Large bodies of water, when undisturbed, will remain flat. Earth is provable stationary. Cheers. So if I were to rate this movie, I would give it 1 star out of 10 bananas because those who made this movie are bananas. And they are only getting the 1 star because they actually did manage to put some kind of movie together. I agree with the reviewer who stated the movie was just a bunch of so-called professionals stating the earth is flat, then telling their stories and telling the rest of us we were indoctrinated, when that's obviously the other way around. I never understand why NASA would lie to us about this with all the governments, and this whole flat earth theory doesn't make sense to me. Or to science. I just have fun reacting to it and debunking it and laughing at it. So I will leave a link to their movie down below. Go watch it and laugh at it for yourself. Send me more crazy movies like this that you want me to react to, and please do all the YouTube things. Let me know what you think of the flat earth theory down below. Thanks so much for watching, and no matter where you are, what you're doing, I hope that you are having a fabulous, totally fabuloso day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah. Bye! I'm gonna go catch a flight and fly to the other side of the world upside down.